Hi, this is a response to Zach George 21's question, why do we tube, the future of YouTube, which I thought was a really good question. It was also obviously in response to Bohem's question as well, why do you tube, turning tube into the verb, which I think is a rather clever use of language. My answer would be that I think we have always tubed. You can go back to very early civilizations. I guess the Greeks are a good enough place to start as any. And there was what they call the agora in Greek history. The agora was a marketplace, but a central meeting place for people in Athens and cities like Athens to meet and discuss their lives, about their days, etc. And of course in Italian society there was the piazza, which is roughly the same thing, sort of a public square or something like that. In early modernity there was the cafes of France, I guess, of Paris, but across all of Europe, and eventually they're still around all over the world, where intellectuals and artists and people of education would meet and discuss all kinds of things, what they were doing last week, and where some of the great intellectual traditions and movements of the 20th century were born from these sorts of contexts. That sort of evolved, of course, with the city centre, and where these sorts of communications would take place from the most mundane, absurd, commonplace things, as well as, of course, some really heavy-duty intellectual, mathematical, literary, artistic, scientific sort of things were pretty seriously hammered out. And so in this sense, I think the reason why we tube is because we want to extend our public space. I think as social creatures we crave public space and social spaces. And YouTube is yet another one that we can explore and involve ourselves in. And I also think that part of the form of the internet generally, but of course YouTube as well, is the development of a global democracy, or a global, by democracy I kind of mean that literally, as in sort of a power to the people, a global kind of social production of political power, but also of just social life. The other point I wanted to make is that I think we tube because we want to feel a part of a community, and we want to feel a part of something bigger than ourselves. And we all have different reasons for tubing. Ultimately, some are doing it for money, some are doing it for fame, some are doing it for just to be seen, some are doing it to have discussions and engage with people outside of their sort of local experience. But ultimately I think we are all doing it for a sense of community, for a sense of an extension of public space and global democracy. That doesn't mean we're doing it with good intentions. Sometimes, and quite often, people aren't doing that with good intention, but I think that's why we're doing it. I'm Alex Gibson. Thank you.